it'll be a cool case study because it's a customer coming up with a creative idea
Right.
and Amigo responding with a solution in a short period of time, and then it's a win. And then, oh, look, there's everybody else using it.
That's exactly what happened, right, Scott? We had a client come to us with a very unique ask in creating a yearbook, but they had this idea to do a physical version first. We spun our wheels, ended up going in different directions, and eventually landed at, can we include this in the app? So that was my ask to Amigo. Can we include or build out some type of digital yearbook for this that can be digital, and then we can also perhaps make it physical later, but have the ability to have a directory, search for folks, learn some cool things about them. So we did custom questions, which you guys helped us with. Ours looked kind of like, what are your hobbies, activities outside of work? Because this event was all about connection in person. And then at the end of the event, we're taking all this data and we might make a digital format for this, which could look like an interactive PDF, or we could build out a small microsite that houses all this stuff. Additionally, we could do printouts, but that's 2000 late now. Everything's digital. So yeah, it worked out amazing. We're super happy with the product. Our clients were really happy with it. It went over really well with the audience as well.
And I told you that, so first of all, the way that it came about was fun because I just enjoyed talking about the yearbook idea. And I do think there's a possibility for that physical artifact. It's kind of retro in a cool way, especially when you're talking about user conferences at Knowledge for ServiceNow and Dreamforce for Salesforce. People show up swag or buttons, and it's like street cred when they come to these events, and this is like my 15th Dreamforce or something, and they have their Trailblazer hoodies, and it's kind of a cool thing to think about, of like a little physical artifact. Of course, the budget and all the things that have to go into that. I still think the yearbook idea is super cool, but the other thing that was neat about this is how we built it. So we built a custom way to bring in either questions from your core system. Was it Cvent that we were using, I think, for this one? And the questions weren't in Cvent, were they? We added them in the app. So
that's right.
We could add them either from the core system if you ask them in advance, or you could ask them in the app and people could respond. The neat thing that happened after this, as I told you, was 4 other events came along and they had a similar question. Can we have a custom profile for an attendee that shows in the directory, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. One of the people had done a really cool thing where they had asked, and I wish everybody would do this. They asked everybody for a profile picture during registration and a LinkedIn URL during registration. And they had 2 custom questions that they asked, and all of that data was available to us. So then when we turned it on, the directory was instantly filled with photos, LinkedIn URLs, and the answers to these questions. So it really amplifies and kind of turbocharges the networking capabilities that are happening at the app. And we've now productized it, so this can happen for anybody, and you can do it with any EMS. Attendees will get a kick out of it. So I think it's just a super cool little case study.
Really cool products. I'm not sure if there's some sort of trend that's going on that we just happen to start. It's crazy how just after you and I worked on this together, and Amigo built it out for us, that 4 other events wanted to do the same thing, right? Definitely think maybe there's some type of trend there, but also agree with you on like sort of bringing old school back, the little retro feel of having your yearbook, and people used to sign it. It's like signing your cast if you got your arm broken in high school, right? So having that physical piece to it adds to the nostalgia and the retro vibes of it. Love that. And yeah, I think overall really cool product. I can see it being used in many different applications, many different events. And it's always going to have that nostalgia piece, but also connect people and be able to build bridges and network.
And that's what live events do, right? It's connecting people in a fun way. And we see that when we're doing live events, there's nothing else like it. And we see how that's kind of resurgent. But I think the thing that we're talking about that's maybe in the air is like that post-pandemic feeling of a loss of connection. That events inspire, and that also like these other cool things could do. Like people have now like mini Polaroids, and it's kind of like fun ways to kind of connect with people, and we're doing that. So it's neat to see it when the technology can help bridge the in-person connection and create that bind.
I feel like that's the exact intersection at which we work, or at least my company, August Jackson. We're always right at that line of bringing people together, but also, utilizing technology to make their events and their lives more efficient. How can we network and build community and do team building in a matter of a week right, on a 4 or 5 day event. And so, these types of applications and these creative ideas that are implemented into the applications are really what we're striving for. I think it was a home run.